once you've joined the submarines, once you volunteered for it and you've undergone the medical. Now the medical is a little more strict because first thing you have to be seen whether you can withstand pressure. Because in a submarine, under normal circumstances, while it is like an aircraft, when you are sitting in normal and there's no problem, then it feels like normal air. It's pressurized. However, if there is an emergency, if there is a problem and the submarine loses pressure, then the outside pressure of the water will start acting on the submarine and the people inside. So you have to be able to withstand that pressure. So one has to go through a pressure chamber in the naval hospital, and various tests are done over there. Then there are some psychological tests to be done also, basically to see whether you have the mental ability to sort of sustain yourself in that environment. And once you've cleared, and these are not difficult, these are just, they want to see that you're not unfit for it. It doesn't mean that you're weaker than anybody else, or you're not up to the mark, or you're not fit. Some people are claustrophobic, they're claustrophobic. Some people are not happy in that environment, they're not happy in that environment. It's not a disqualification of any kind that you are not up to the mark. It is just that you should be suited for that environment, basically. Once you've joined the submarine arm, or you volunteered and you've been selected for it, one has to go for a 6-7 month course to INS Satwana. INS Satwana is a naval establishment in Visakhapatnam on the east coast of India, which is the submarine warfare school, where submarine training is imparted to those who volunteer for the arm, and subsequently when people go for courses also, they go to Satwana. In Satwana, in these 7 months, besides learning the theoretical parts of a submarine, everything that's the theory of a submarine, the systems, etc., you also have to undergo something called an escape training course, which is of 4 weeks duration, 1 month. Now, this is another tough course because they teach you how to escape from a submarine that may have sunk underwater. So you have to operate under conditions of, it could be dark, you could be injured, many things could have happened, and you are under pressure. Now, if you're at 100, let's say you have sunk, your submarine has sunk at 100 meters depth. That means the moment you leave the submarine, even if it is pressurized, you will be subjected to 10 kg per centimeter square pressure. If it is deeper, that much more. So you have to learn to escape from that. So there are various drills and there are various procedures. It is not that these are difficult or they're impossible. It's just that they make you practice these so much that they become natural to you. Because when you're trying to escape from a submarine that is sunk, there is no time to start thinking, what did they teach me? What should I do now? It should come naturally to you that I'm supposed to do this. Everybody on board a submarine has an escape suit. He wears an escape suit and then he carries out the escape drill. So it is very important to clear the escape training course. If you cannot clear the escape training course, then you cannot become a submariner. That's sort of the bottom line. Once you finish these 7 months in INS Satwana, then every officer who has done the course, or sailor also for that matter, is posted to a submarine for further training. So you go 3 or 4, the course is divided amongst as many submarines as there are operational submarines there are, and let's say there are 5 operational submarines with 20 officers, they'll send 4 to each submarine for training. This 7 months, again, you will spend 6 to 7 months there. And it's pretty intensive training. You go and join every department on board. The officers, specialized officers are there to take you through the paces, to teach you things, to help you understand the practical aspects of submarining. You're given an opportunity to operate equipment under supervision. So basically, you are now being taught the practical aspects of submarining. Once you finish these 6 months on board, then you have to undergo a board of officers, which includes about 4 or 5 senior submarine officers, will ask you various questions on submarining. What have you learned? They'll give you situations that suppose so-and-so thing happens, what will you do? Suppose so-and-so thing happens, what will you do? It's an interview basically, but very submarine oriented to understand that you're not expected to be a genius. You're not expected to be able to answer everything 100%. The intention there is to find out, have you understood enough? Have you understood the fundamental concept of submarine operations to be able to continue in the submarines thereafter? So that is what happens. At the end of this 1 year, you are now qualified to call yourself a submariner and you get the submarine badge. Now, it's like a flying badge. Like a pilot does his training and wears wings, a submariner wears dolphins. I don't have the dolphins here, but I'll get them next time. So that is a badge we're all very proud of wearing, because that means that you have passed through this 1 year successfully and you are qualified to be a submariner. Now you're a full-fledged submariner, but still there is a certain amount of training you still have to do, which means that now you have to be trained. Now that you have understood how a submarine works in theory and in practice, now you have to be able to operate that submarine independently when you're on watch. That means you don't need to be supervised by anybody underwater. So for that, you need to undergo something called dived watchkeeping. It's called a dived watchkeeping certificate, which means that after you get the dived watchkeeping certificate, you can do a watch. What we call a watch means an officer on duty underwater, when the submarine is underwater. So this takes another 6 to 7 months. Again, you are given supervision and you're given independent time to learn on your own. You are expected to start doing things on your own. Once all that is over, then at the end of that 6 months, again there's a board, and you're given months to become now a full-fledged submariner who can do anything he's expected to do on a submarine, he or she. And there's no ladies at the moment, so at the moment it's only he. He is expected to do on a submarine. So now that you've become a full-fledged submariner, now you will be transferred to various submarines for, you'll be a assistant navigating officer, or an assistant weapon officer, or an assistant sonar officer. So depending on whatever job there is, a young officer is posted to, could be one submarine, could be one after another, 2 or 3 submarines, till the officer goes for his specialization. Now, specialization in the Navy, there are 4 specializations. There is communication, navigation, gunnery, and anti-submarine warfare. Submarine will go for all 4.